This is the big one. This is the beginning of the end of the nightmare that Justin Baldoni has faced the last year and change.
I clearly state that the backlash against Blake was organic, and that Melissa Nathan never did anything wrong, because that is the truth.
Blake Lively faced a major setback when her latest legal move backfired in court, with a judge shutting her down on the spot. Her supposed smoking gun evidence unraveled into a tangle of questionable claims and contradictory testimonies, and not even Ryan Reynolds' best PR efforts could spare her from the public embarrassment.
A rumor is growing fast that Robert Downey Jr. is having trouble on the set of his new Avengers film with Ryan Reynolds.
Blake Lively seemed poised for a dramatic courtroom victory in the summer of 2025, but the judge swiftly shut her down. It was almost cinematic. She arrived with a bold new filing she believed would be her ultimate smoking gun against Justin Baldoni, only for the entire plan to collapse in real time. The irony couldn't be sharper.
Now it all hinges upon Blake Lively trying to unearth this idea that Justin smeared her. But every sort of indication is that he was a pretty good boss.
Add James Vushka to the mix, and the whole circus kicks into overdrive. In June 2025, the former Daily Mail reporter testified under oath that he'd never heard Leslie Sloan, Blake's own publicist, accuse Justin Baldoni of anything on set. That should have settled it, right? Wrong. Just weeks later, he reversed course, filing a new statement claiming the Daily Mail pressured him to sign the first one and that Friedman's team lied about him being a source. Now, there are two sworn statements that directly contradict each other, leaving everyone to wonder whether Vushka is simply unreliable or if someone is pulling strings behind the scenes.
Former Daily Mail reporter James Vituska, you can see it right here, sent an email and he laid out how Taylor Swift's publicist knew what was going on. Taylor wanted nothing to do.
Vushka's new statement wasn't a simple, oops, my mistake. He went full scorched earth, declaring, they cost me my job, reputation, and career. That's not a mere retraction. It's practically a declaration that he's ready to sue Brian Friedman himself. He spelled out that he's lost his job, his credibility as a journalist, and is prepared to drag everyone who pulled him into this mess through the mud. If you're Blake, you might have thought, jackpot. This guy just handed us the win, but not so fast. The judge isn't naive. He's looking at a witness who swore one thing in June, swore the opposite a few weeks later, and now expects everyone to take his latest word as gospel. That's not a smoking gun. It's a credibility nightmare. And it makes Blake look even worse for trying to present his second statement as ironclad proof.
What we do know is Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's attorney, his credibility has been at stake when he said Blake Lively was extorting Taylor Swift. He withdrew the subpoena of Taylor Swift, probably because he has all this information. Why subpoena for a bunch of information if they give you exactly what you...
Then came the ultimate humiliation. Judge Lyman wrecked Blake's big moment. She rushed into court waving Vushka's new affidavit like she'd uncovered Watergate, only for the judge to shut her down with a curt, "Not your time to speak." Brutal. The court made it clear she had to wait for Brian Friedman's response. No shortcuts, no surprise attacks. Her dramatic filing was struck from the record. Imagine thinking you're about to land a knockout punch, and instead getting benched before you even swing. That's Blake right now. Impulsive, unprepared, and completely out of her depth.
Everything that she's feeding to James Vituska is a way to try and smear Justin Baldoni.
The comparison is almost comical. Blake seems to picture herself as Elle Wood striding into Harvard Law with a pink briefcase, ready to drop undeniable truth bombs. In reality, the judge treated her more like a freshman interrupting class to read aloud from Wikipedia. It's embarrassing and honestly deserved. If you're going to pin your case on someone like James Vushka, who can't even stick to one sworn statement, you can't be surprised when the judge calls you out.
People trying to discredit James Vituska. James Vituska made a statement this week that changed his word, which essentially means he's not credible. But why did he change his word? Why is he now supporting Blake Lively when privately in the past he was supporting this notion that Blake was slamming Justin Baldoni and accusing him of all these things?
Let's talk about Leslie Sloan, because if Blake Lively is the face of this mess, Sloan looks like the puppet master behind the scenes. Screenshots reportedly show her feeding James Vushka dirt about Justin Baldoni as if it were an all-you-can-eat buffet of rumors, claiming everyone on set hated him and that he controlled everything. Really? Everyone? Not a single cast member has backed that up on the record. This is supposed to be Blake's top-tier publicist, the person paid to protect her client's image. Instead, she comes off like she's planting gossip for a bargain bin tabloid, spinning fairy tales for anyone who'll listen.
Some believe James Fatuska changed his tune because he was lured into, false promises or whatever on Blake Lively's side. Blake Lively as a offensive. I know, get your tinfoil hat on.
And then there's the email that really takes the cake. Sloan allegedly wrote that Justin shouldn't be directing the abuse scenes because a man shouldn't decide everything. That's a direct quote from her message. So let's get this straight. Justin Baldoni shouldn't direct scenes from a book adaptation he helped bring to life simply because he's a man, while Blake is simultaneously demanding full creative control and pulling Ryan into the process like an unpaid Marvel intern. The hypocrisy is glaring. Sloan's trying to cloak a smear campaign in faux feminism, pretending it's about elevating women's voices, when it's really about making Justin look like a villain to protect Blake's brand.